Tired of the way YouTube's making you feel anymore?
He's Dan.
He's Mike.
Hang out with us.
Threw a curveball there, Mike. That wasn't the way.
Hang out with us as we answer the question, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
That is the question we need to ask, as the kids say nowadays. So how's your week this weekend?
Pretty good. I can't complain. It's been very uneventful. Waiting for spring. I'm really excited that the weather's finally changing and it's not so freezing cold and I don't have to perpetually wear long johns and rip all the hair out of my legs, so I'm smoother than a swimmer.
Yeah, bro.
I'm not. It's very demasculating to only have hair on my kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of annoying. I get these hairy kneecaps, but at least man, I'm not going to be on my. I'm not on my knees. You know what I mean?
I got to braid the hair that comes out the behind my kneecaps. Like holy cow! My uncle
your knee locks.
Because we come from a hairy
you got Hasidic knees.
And I don't know, we're like part Italian and part Polish, and apparently that's supposed to produce fur all over your body but your head. So I don't know.
You get the friar tux?
Yeah, my grandfather, I blame him. I mean, I'm doing all right, even though, but
I'm lucky. Everyone in my family had like jet black hair until their 80s. My grandfather, like all of a sudden one day I came here, he was like, that was it. The black hair was gone and it turned gray. And my dad's almost 70 and he's still got black hair. His has whitened up a lot in the last couple of years, but
my dad died young. His dad died young. Probably
my mom died young.
Commenting in that line. But I don't know. My old man had, he had had a hair until he freaking went too. So as far as I know, but I don't know. He was like 60, so we'll see. But that, what was I going to say about the hair? Okay, screw the hair. Anywho, so this week, that was funny you should say about that, because we were talking last week about exercise, and this week I started working again at the arena. The last time I worked there, they had me just loading trucks and stuff, right? But this time they were putting down the floor for the basketball court.
So how many did they have the stuff on site, or were there trailers?
All right there.
How much is that?
Bro,
what does that look like? What does the floor look like stacked up?
Okay, so check it out. This is hilarious. So first of all, when you go into an arena, okay, the flooring, it's a flooring system, and if you have hockey games in that arena, that ice is always there.
How do they put the seats in there?
So the next thing they do is that whole outside thing is built there, around it is built there. And then basically they come in with these 4x8 panels of flooring. You throw that down over the ice. And then
they have escutcheons or whatever they're called sticking up that the chairs sit into.
Well, not yet. Nah.
Isn't that the word? What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
Escutcheon, right?
But
is that what it is? Or am I totally sounding like?
I've never heard of it.
I should wipe the drool real quick.
I don't know. You might not be, but I've never heard the words.
Yeah, maybe I'll wipe the drool just in case.
That's a good point.
Click the chin strap. It's okay.
That's funny. The blue helmets. They're for the special kids.
Right.
Yeah. No, what I think they probably do is, because I haven't gotten that far yet, but they put down the on the bottom of the ice, they just put down like this, it's a 4x8 panel of like, on one side it's flat, on the other side it's kind of like, I don't even know. Like,
how many of them are there? How many 4x8 panels? Like 50, 60, 100?
Hundreds.
Jeez.
Hundreds. There's
cars. How many guys you got doing
4x8. They stack them in piles like yay high, 6 feet high.
Okay.
4, 5, 6 feet high.
And that's like the length of the whole end of the venue.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging where there's taters.
Okay. So then they probably would build the flooring on top of that. So like for the basketball court, you bring them in, same thing, 4x8 sections of hardwood maple flooring stuck to how you would build a floor, right? They would have all the layers, and then 2x2s or 1x1s probably.
And all this is just sitting on ice. And you guys are walking around installing them on ice?
Well, first there's the ice, and then you put the first subfloor down. And
okay, so what's that? Is that like some cushioning stuff?
It's cushioning. It's like I don't even. Yeah, it's like it just feels like hard,
like neoprene.
Yeah,
like wrestling mat.
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
But it's solid, more solid than that. Yeah, but some type of plastic like that. And then they build on top of that. The other floor, they just set that right on top, and then it like either buttresses against the wall, and then it just all snaps into place. And the basketball flooring, it went up to N. So there was the rows A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S.
Yeah, I know the alphabet.
Yeah, up to N. And that's how many rows. Like, and then same thing, man.
Just no P.
No P. No, it's funny. They skipped that one.
Yeah.
All the way up. So, and I think there was like 10 of them. I mean, so again, they stack. By the end of them, you're lifting them up, boom, like this tall, and they're like this thick, and it's heavy duty. You got to hit them with a sledgehammer, man. Oh,
to lock them in.
Yeah, every day, dog, is leg day, all day, and just squats, with that heavy freaking thing in all day. And then the first day we put the first floor down, then the next day we put the second floor down, then the third day we took them all down. Yeah, takes 4 dudes to do them, man. So you got to take 4 guys and lift it up. And
Headless Horseman.
Yeah, so anyway, every day there apparently is leg day. So we were talking about exercising, my man's over there, and I'm telling you what, I got to get to the gym, because the one guy, man, he looked like he ate nothing but meth. And then when he talked to me about doing stuff, he said that 9/10 of his life was the case. Maybe not that, but he indulged in stuff.
When I was 10, I started cooking.
Correct. And so
ever since I've been fine.
That fella,
he looks like he's 80. He's actually 26.
Oh my God, that fella. Nah, he's definitely got some years on me, but that guy gets up, right? And like, so one of those panels, they put it down and it needed to be moved. And they set in this little, there's like 2 little things on the one side that click them in this little channel, right? 2 little metal things. And he gets in there, gets down, and he pushes it with his legs. He kicks it a couple times, and it moved. Not a lot, but it moved, right? Like maybe an inch or 2. So the one of them needs to go one time, and I get down to do it, and I get down there, and I go to move it, and I go flinging across the room. The thing budge it all, dude. Not one bit.
You're too strong for that job. You should be like slinging I-beams around or something.
I had to try to play that off as best I could, man, but it was tough. And the Polak be showing in me bad, dude, bad, because I just I don't know which way that way
just
is. Just
wipe the drool and move on. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
That's when I learned which color helmets you got to worry about. If you're given the blue ones.
I have the high risk, so it's red. I always have to wonder, you got to be able to watch where he's going. The blue, you can kind of hide and, be amongst the people. But when you got that bright red cone on your head, Oh, you want to know something that I discovered this week that I didn't know until random video I saw?
Let's go.
Do you know where the dunce cap came from?
I do not know.
Because actually, if you put a copper pyramid on your head, it will, because of the circle, like the way magnetism and electrons work in a circle, it will get your electrons and neurons in your brain to start focusing. Like they always put it on the kid that can't focus. He's up and out of his seat. He's causing all kind of stuff. So they put the Dunsky hat on him, which back in the day, the dunce hat had a copper ring on the bottom of it. And then the rest kind of looked like a Klan hat. Yeah, you know what I mean? But initially, the reason they did that is because after the kid sat with that thing on his head for 10 minutes, he would come back and be more attentive, because it would literally focus up his electrons in his brain and get, start.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, wow, that's really crazy.
Did you see that on a YouTube's video?
Yeah, it was a YouTube thing I was watching on electromagnetism.
Oh, word.
Yeah, it was about like torrid sphere and energy, how it cools the room, and serial generators and stuff. I'm into all that future technology and trying to be like off the grid. Boy, that dog is consistent. You got to give it to the old Hankster. Every single time that we try to film something, without fail,
he does it.
He will be sleeping. The minute we start doing this stuff, he comes outside the door, yells once or twice, and then bounces. So every video, at some point, all of our practice and all of our, dry runs, getting ready, trying to learn how to not swear on YouTube, which
is better at that.
I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm consciously trying not to, because the last one we tried, I had 26 things that I was going to have to edit out in order to be family friendly and
Right.
YouTube compliant and all of that great stuff. And let's see if I can get it down below 5 maybe this time. I feel 5 would be great. I mean, it's way more than I would like to do, but still,
seems like
the last one was just like, F this, F that, but the one story that I told, it had to be done with
True.
it. You know what I mean? So we can put the roars in, and we might be able to release that at some point, but it needs a little more editing because of myself and Mike. We have, we are real people. We talk like real people. We really are not the most YouTube friendly the way our thought patterns work, but that's a whole other story altogether.
No, that gets me. We'll get to that one in a minute. I just got to go with this dunce cap bit that you surprised me with.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Isn't that cool? Like cool. Where that comes from? You know what I mean? I never even thought about that.
There's this like 14th, 15th century hat that you see everybody wearing, right? It's like this, that like almost looks like a baker's or a chef's hat, that big poofy looking thing.
Sure.
Right? It's like a 15th. You might see them at Renaissance.
I always see the Swedish chef when I think that.
Okay, so it's like that one. Like the Swedish chef's more though, because you know how like a real chef's hat will be really tall, right?
Yeah,
the Swedish chef's hat, his falls over, right?
Yeah. You're thinking like a sous chef or like
but it's like a Renaissance era hat, or something, right?
Sure. But like Henry VIII's kind of thing, right? The hat he's pictured with a. It's like a beret, but a slumpy ass.
Yeah, it's a lot more fabric, right?
Yeah.
Because this is a funny thing. So I guess what that hat is I watch this YouTube.
It's actually a rolled up hoodie.
Oh, you pardon my language.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I quit.
Oh,
you ruined my whole story. How'd you read my mind?
Well, weren't you going to ask me what it was?
I was going to tell you. Sorry, you read my mind.
Well, we changed the direction. It's still great information.
That's kind of funny. That's kind of why we're working together. But exactly. It's exactly like it's exactly a rolled up hoodie, which they basically, the guy was making the analogy, which is, it's exactly a rolled up hoodie, you jerkwad.
So just like you're wearing it backwards. And it just falls off.
Yeah.
You got it on all the time.
Right, because I don't know, maybe it went out of style, but the guy was like, he drew the analogy.
I'm going to bring it back. I'll bring it back. I'm just going to start rolling my hoodies all the way up to the hood and put that shit around my shoulders and just like pimp it out. You know what I mean? So if I get cold, I can just be like, and just the act of throwing it off, like, I think that's going to be pretty dope too.
And in hundreds of years, people are going to be wearing this hat in pictures, and they're just going to have no context to the hoodie.
That's Danny the Great.
They'll just call it Danny G hat.
Yeah, he's got that Danny G hat.
But Danichi.
I
jump into the
check out my Danichi
by Chanel. I can't believe that you knew that it was a.
I didn't know that. I just took a guess because.
Oh my god!
Because I've got jackets that have the hood rolled up in the collar, and I can't stand them because once I unroll it, I try to put it back in. I got this collar that looks like it's all puffed up and jacked. I can never get that. I'm trying to roll it up like 10 times, and I try to get it in the zipper, and it's all clumped, and I got like the hoodie hanging out of my zipper.
I never have the zippy hoodies.
Oh, like I just once I get the one with the hoodie or I don't. So I can just pull that out. Yeah, I like the hoodie layers. I'm a snowboard coat over hoodies and long johns. That's my jam.
Usually I will have the outdoor coat. The out coat will definitely have a hoodie. The last big coat should have a hoodie.
Yeah. I like that
I should have a hoodie proper.
It depends on what I'm doing, but I like my snowboard coats without that extra hood because I wear hats and stuff, and it always gets like wet on my. I don't know. I just like the freedom of it. You know what I mean? I guess something depends on what you're doing or where you're going, like timing. Like I like to have the option. That's why I like the snaps. Because if it's like, oh man, it's gonna be snowing, I want to be able to snap 2 snaps on either side of my,
So this is the thing, man. With old days, like clothes weren't the same as we have them now. They didn't have buttons.
It snaps.
But they didn't have any of it, man. That's why people were wearing a blanket
thick and loose
as a coat.
Well, that's where the whole poncho thing. It's a blanket with a hole cut.
Right, so it's
modern
not like
marvel of engineering and fashion.
We are so with clothes. We are so far ahead. Like they would just die for the stuff that we had because of that. Well, they probably did.
I know. You take Vortex back to the 1800s, you're going to be a wizard.
People went that's why people joined armies and stuff, is to get clothes. That's why they kept wearing that stuff. People didn't have clothes like we have clothes now. And so like the hood was a separate item. So, after a while you need the hood, but it's too hot to wear the hood. What'd you do? So then they started wearing it like this hat. And then a guy flipped it over and did a whole thing out of it. And then they stopped wearing it as a hood. And that was our story. Making it
noise.
So anyway, On to that, well, I would like to start the next segment, which we call the Art of the Troll, because I heard you had a little episode this week.
Yep. Oh man, I kind of got dragged down the YouTube comments hole. I really don't ever really comment on a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and most of the stuff that I do comment on is like the memes. You know what I mean? I'll laugh or say something about it. And I made the mistake of offering up some proof of some very controversial. I don't even want to go too far down.
Yeah, don't worry.
But because I don't want to cause that same problem again. You know what I'm saying? But I offered proof of something that is very in contention, you know, due to members of my family, positions they hold. I'm privy to some information that I can't really even go into.
Right.
But anyways,
well, they
kept trying to offer proof, and YouTube kept taking it down because it was links on YouTube. You know what I mean? I was trying to link to other videos,
right,
but the videos offered up some of this proof.
Right.
And so they kept taking it down. Then finally, the guy, like, I would wake up in the morning, go to have my coffee and see my notifications. I flip through it, and there was like full on paragraphs.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know if I wanted to read it.
I love it.
And then, like, I could instantly tell what I was dealing with because of the lack of periods and commas.
Yeah.
It was just like this one. I'm like, how do I take this? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know where the break. It's just like, do I break here after and?
You gotta get a pen and paper.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to like figure it out. I'm like, what was this guy actually thinking? Is he really mad? Is he asking me a question? What kind of statement is this?
Yeah,
There's no punctuation. So I instantly knew from the grammar the type of person I was dealing with. And so I decided to rub his nose in it really good. So I actually gave him a picture of my family members. You know, you saw the page I showed you. It was like, if you can look at that and be like, he doesn't know what he's talking about, you're just lying to yourself at this point. You understand what I'm saying? Because the proof is so definitive. It's like, wow, I wasn't messing around. You know what I mean? Family makes rockets. You know what I mean? Like, for a living. So people, when you say that on YouTube, most people don't know people that actually make rockets. You know what I mean? But I do. I have several of them in my family. So the controversial argument that we got in was quickly, then it was like days and days of this guy like, show me the proof, blah, 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 blah. You're talking all this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, bro, I don't even care enough to answer you. I'm sorry that if you feel that way, but like, I don't wake up and give a crap what you think about this topic because I know the facts. It's not a debate for me. You understand what I'm saying? There is no debate. It was crushed. It is beyond a shadow of a doubt. What this person said to me is 100% true. And the position that they hold is beyond a shadow of a doubt, like some of the highest clearance our country has. You know what I mean? Flat out. When you work in Cheyenne Mountain, 18 stories underground in compartmentalized government projects, you don't even know what you're working on. You know, like if you're working on a lamp, you'll work on the switch. You don't know where that goes.
You know what the
the person I'm talking about ran those programs, not just worked in them, ran them. Senior engineer advisor. You know what I mean? Like, and so I just loved it when it all went dark. Every day I'm getting these paragraphs giving me a hard time about my position on this controversial thing. And then I put the pin in it, and then it's crickets. Straight up crickets. And then I made the mistake of doing it again. And I didn't even know it was controversial because it was...
That's the ones I like.
Because it was the T-Man, a picture of the T-Man with, leaders of the black community back in the day.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, and Jesse Jackson, one of them, is they were best friends. He was the only person to come to Jesse Jackson's campaign in the beginning. You know, like he was one of the very first people to do that. So anyways, I made this comment of all these pictures. I was like, wow, I bet you didn't know that he actually got an award from the NAACP with Rosa Parks and Muhammad Ali. And I wrote, Rosa Parks, let that sink in. She's like the poster child for the civil rights movement. You know, I'm sitting in the front. I don't care. You go, girl. You know what I'm saying? But Trump got an award with her, and the comment section went berserk.
Oh, yeah, well,
you know what I mean? I'm like, I didn't make this up. I was just saying, how would you like to know that? People are calling me all kinds of names.
You say that dude's name, and two things happen. It's the whole either I could kill him on 6th Street, and his poop don't stink, or it's the other end of they just melt out and they can't hold rational.
Oh, I got quite the sampling of all of the above.
Because
you know, I had a lot of people coming to the support. You know, like tons of people, like, you know, because I didn't say anything about them. I just said that's a fact, and then there was like 40 people like, yes, that's a fact, that's a fact, that's a fact. That's telling the other guy he doesn't know how to read, because I didn't say, I wasn't comparing him to Rosa Parks. I just said he got an award
hence
with
you
her.
mentioned 2 names in the sentence.
Right, and listen, you know,
I'll tell you what,
it doesn't matter to me. People can deny things all they want. I don't play those games. There's reality in this world, and some of us actually live there.
Yeah.
We don't live in this made-up world that is run by bot networks. People aren't smart enough to realize they're not talking to people. A lot of this stuff is bot.
I wanted to
the comments all down Twitter.
For a long time,
do you know that the last election cycle there was 4.5 billion tweets made by Democrat-run bot networks, that they paid bot networks to make these comments as if people were supporting the other side, but 4.5 billion of them that were paid for, that we know of, that we have receipts and can show.
See, this is
they
the sort
did
of
this.
shit
You know what I mean?
Say it now, you need to have the thing flash across.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. That's not what we're really talking about. I'm just saying.
Well, if you say it, that's what you have to do. Like at a certain point. Right?
Well, they can do their own research. You know what I mean? Like,
but they can't. They won't.
Yeah.
They
well,
won't
that's
even,
on them.
They won't even
then I don't really care
read it when you put it on the screen.
I don't care what they think. If you're not willing to do your own research, if something I say is going to trigger you, and you're just going to take it as a gospel from me, well, you're a fool and you've made a mistake right out the gates. And as far as I'm concerned, you got to get on a different level. You know what I mean? If you really care about a subject, who cares what I say? Who cares what I think? If I've picked a scab, put a Band-Aid on it, go home to mommy and figure it out. You know what I mean? It's not up to me to like prove it. Look at it. Look it up. I did. I have the same access to information as everyone else. And it's not hard. This is all low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say something that's hidden in the annals of the deep web. It's like you Google this shit on the toilet, excuse me.
Quite literally.
You know what I mean? But you can just Google it whenever you get a chance and it'll all pop up. Yeah, but I think I've deduced, to put a tail on this donkey, I've deduced that I'm going to keep my mouth shut on most of those comments.
I don't believe it.
I'm definitely going to be a little... until I take trolling lessons from my brother here, like I think I'm just gonna kick it back a little, you know.
Let me start with this, dog.
I'll just like thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll keep it real light.
Well, listen.
You know?
So here's the first thing: is what do they say? Something on YouTube, only like maybe 10% of the people that use YouTube comment. So I was like, oh well, that's a pretty powerful thing. Like you can.
And of that 10, only about 2 of them are educated.
Yeah, right. So knowing that, like, now I can have some influence on the whole thing, right? Isn't it supposed to be social media? So with that said, I took that advantage, you know what I mean? And then I started doing that. And I got into one of these situations where it was something like that. And then I was just like, man, like this, and you could tell that they didn't read it, right? And they were like,
or read it properly. Like you can read something, you read it so fast.
Times.
It's like, bro, read it twice. If you're gonna comment, and put your ass on the line and write a check for your mouth, you know, if you got to write a check that your ass is gonna have to cash eventually, you might want to make sure you got money in the bank. Right. You know what I'm saying?
So like for me, well, what would happen? Oh shoot, now I forgot. Let's watch me remember. Anyway. Oh, right. So I would comment to this thing, and then one time, like, I would have these people agreeing with me, but yelling at me because they didn't read what I wrote to realize they were agreeing with me.
That's priceless.
You know what I mean?
How do you let them, like, I don't know. Like,
you're agreeing with me and you're yelling at me. We agree, you retard. You just didn't read it right.
After this week and the little the comment war, I've just decided that it's just negativity, and I don't want to stick my toe in.
Well, it's not necessarily negativity.
It is. Like I was dealing with straight up name calling, people calling me stupid.
Okay, what I mean, okay,
and I'm like, and the way I feel, it's like, so how dare you call me, say that when you have absolutely not, like, I'm showing you actual fact of why I say this stuff, and it's undeniable. You know what I mean? Like,
and you clearly didn't engage with the thing that I showed you.
Right.
Right. So shut up then, right? This is where the conversation should stop.
Right.
There's no reason you should be calling any names.
Oh, it did. Yeah. Once I did, see, I was ignoring the people, and they kept like messaging me back. Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
The same people?
Yeah, same people. Like 3 of them.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I posted it 10 times and YouTube took it down. So then I tried another route. And I posted proof of my family member where they work. You know what I mean? Like showed a thing. There were a seminar he was leading on aerospace, and it instantly like shut them all up. I'm like, I told you, my family does this stuff for a living. I'm not like just talking out of my.
Is that when you challenge somebody's ideas?
I know it's in the hippocampus. It's in a part of the brain that functions like your lungs.
Right.
It functions involuntary muscles.
It functions like it's you personally are being attacked.
Yeah, so well, they are, and they don't understand
are being attacked. Therefore, they can't separate a criticism from an idea that they hold.
Well, yeah,
from the fundamental idea of what that means of who they are.
I even asked the person, I was like, "Why do you even care what I think?" I'm like, "I don't care. Like the reason I haven't got back on here is because I honestly don't care what you think. Like I already arrived at these conclusions."
What did they say when you asked them what?
Oh, they're like, "Don't lord over me with your condescending attitude and stuff."
I was like, "What I think? If I'm a retard, you shouldn't even."
Right.
Why are you engaging with a retard?
Right. Well, I ended up saying that I always live by this rule: lions don't care to the effect of sheep. I don't care what a sheep.
Right.
Thinks.
It must obviously.
It doesn't matter to me. I like sheep are sheep.
What do you have? Somebody in your
lion.
family who thinks like me, and you're mad at them?
Right. That's why actually I asked the guy if he was divorced.
Right.
I was like, you must be divorced because you care about an argument with some idiot on YouTube. Like, why do you care what I think? You don't know me from a bag of nuts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you care what I think? That you have to be literally leaving me full on. I'm not shitting you.
You didn't even punctuate.
It was no punctuation.
Which, by the way, is a thing. I mean,
he was ranting. Yeah, well, he was ranting so hard, and then he's got pages. Like it was literally, on my phone, it was an entire phone page, multiple times, where this guy is just like, people like you and blah 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 blah. I was like, oh my god, this guy is serious. Like I was trying to put myself. I was trying to.
Obviously, if he's saying people like you, somehow it's affecting him in a way emotionally. That is
well, that's what I ended up
and challenging his perspective on things.
Yeah, well, that's what I ended up in the end. I was just like,
But
like,
you personally aren't, and him personally isn't as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. To me, I don't care. I was just like, I said I made a little snarky comment about radio waves. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like how the functionality of radio waves, because I know how far they go and how much kilowatts it costs to send a signal a mile or 40 miles.
You pretty much said it almost.
Right. I totally set it up.
In this whole time when
sure. I mean, like, listen, I'm not saying names and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, obviously.
Oh, no, not from Mark Richards.
What the argument is.
Shoot, I screwed that joke up. Man.
It's actually funny because one of the guys I was arguing with, his name was Richard, and I made the comment,
nice.
Don't be a... You know what I mean? Like, that was where I left it, and I thought, like, here's your proof. Don't be a...
Right.
And then YouTube took it down. So then it wasn't up there, so I was like, God dang it.
So wait a minute.
The clip
so
down.
They took the thing down. Do you think he even got a chance? He probably didn't
no, because he berated me again, saying, that's how easy is it for you to put up the clip?
Even funnier, dude,
and then that's why I said I had to go around the way and get a picture of my.
But you can't even prove to him that like YouTube took your thing down.
I'm like literally going to get shadow banned for putting this stuff on here, and it's from this site. It's on YouTube. It's just they don't want people knowing about it.
If you say to him, look. They just took down my proof to you. You know what I mean? He's going to be like, oh, you're full of it, So it's like you really screwed in that respect. That's hilarious. And the fact that it's still on YouTube, you need to like either spell it out in a way that tell him directly the page to go to.
Well, the deal is I had already posted it in the general comments of that video, so you can't spam links.
Oh, copy.
So I referred him. I was like, I told you my family works in this business, and I already posted the link. Just go look. What are you hassling me for? Go look at it. And then it was crickets. Once he got
This is the problem, though. This isn't the right forum for education.
No, I get that, and that's my point.
And that is why
I'm too educated for the comment section. As far as I'm not going to sound conceited, but like I'm not going to get dragged down into that rabbit hole because rabbit holes are made with dirt.
Yeah, well, they're made to go down,
and they're dirty. I don't care. I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like especially with that, because listen, there's certain undeniable facts. I know how to do math. Everybody. Like certain things are there's facts in the world and there's no opinions in the facts. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like these systems work like this. Again, unless you're talking about that subject, then all the rules are bent and all that stuff becomes fantastical.
Well, you know what I mean?
That
your goat did get caught though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yours was the goat that guy got here.
Only for because it kept
because he kept coming back.
Right. I was like, just leave me alone. Finally, when I posted the last clip, I was like, bro, if this doesn't convince you, You can't be convinced. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if you think that. Just alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I shouldn't have said the one thing I just said. Is that again? It's like the art of the troll is that like these people. People are acting emotionally, and
most of the time,
and on here, right? And they're not going to. People are really hardwired into things they think, and they feel attacked personally, physically, and so then they start acting that way. So for me, like I would try to troll the snot out of that guy, and I've been working on it in things like on funeral posts, on breakup posts, stuff like that. There's easy ones, I like to look for the simps in those ones where the girl's clearly posting thirst traps and dudes are like, "You go, girl," and I like to do that. Find those ones, and then talk to the simps in there.
That's a video subject right there. You just nailed it, because I really want to know what the deal is with these kind of guys that do that.
Weird.
Who subs to these people? Who pays these OnlyFans and all that? Like, go buy a girl a drink, bro. That $5 would go a lot further at a bar somewhere. You grow a pair. Go talk to and let me give some people some advice. Really gorgeous women
are never talked to
because men are intimidated.
Right.
Take that step. Go up there. Lace up your boots. Slick back your hair. Brush your teeth. Take a $5 bill. Buy that girl a pint. You never know where it might go. It's certainly going to go somewhere better than OnlyFans. The whole site it should just be called simp site. You know what I mean?
So what you'll see a lot of times, like I was saying, is this thirst trapping thing.
It's half the internet.
And so when you'll read these comments on there, I'm like, "You're so beautiful, girl." Like, people will be shooting a shot in that thing though, too, for real. And I'm like, what do you like? Here's where what you're saying.
This is what the girl has to look at. This litany, scrolling, all the same thing. Yeah, I get it. Do you think she's honestly looking for a connection in there?
No, absolutely
her connection is $5 from your wallet. That's the only connection you're ever going to get.
Is that for the fella? He needs to go and take that moment where he wrote it there to her and take it out in the real world.
So did you hear Twitch is failing miserably? They're going to have to close down.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because they're not making any money. You know what
but what is it like? Because they changed the rules or something?
No, because nobody's giving people $5 a month to play video games anymore. Now that COVID's over, the relationship between the people and the streamer, and then I started looking at it from a bigger, wider lens. I thought, what a better way to get a whole generation of kids hooked on this magic teat that they're getting money for doing nothing, and then pull the rug out from underneath of them. You know how many people that are on Twitch that are making this money and doing that, all these streamers that are going to belly up.
It's like in our day.
Doc got out of there, huh? They kicked him out, and it's going to end up being the best thing for him because the platform has gone straight downhill with the way they think and do things. That's why in the end, they even let you stream other platforms on Twitch. They're letting you do that. You know, like that's unheard of. Twitch was like
pure copyright infringement.
They were like,
which I kind of not really like in copyright infringement. I don't really think is a thing anyway. Like, but whatever, we have that law. So
yeah, I get all that, but like it's basically like the economy. You can thank Biden because the economy is so bad. There is no extra money. People are paying $5 a gallon for gas. They're not going to give some clown playing video games $5 a month to play video games.
Everybody's got to go back to work.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. But what better way to hit the workforce, get all these people coming in the country illegally, and to take all these jobs, and then pull this revenue stream that people are like living lavish lifestyles, living sneakers, 70 grand, rolling around in all these hot cars, and living this life. They're going to be decimated if Twitch goes under. And that ad revenue goes off.
Well, they're done by half.
Yeah. Well, I mean, still, it's like half. When you're making $1 million, you still get $500,000. That's pretty good for playing. You're playing COD all day. Games. You know what I mean? Like,
you're just playing video games. Like, well, I mean, not just, but I gotcha.
It's going under. Twitch is going to close, and all these people are going to. You know what's going to happen? YouTube is going to get this influx of terrible streamers. Because honestly, there's some streamers, not all. There's a few handful of them that have great entertainment, but there's a lot of streamers, and most COD streamers particularly are just rotten people. They're condescending.
I don't watch.
They're condescending. They're rude. They're selfish. They're stupid. Not to be like really derogatory, but they don't know anything. They're like out of high school, no education, playing video games in their room all day. You have no life experience. You couldn't build a popsicle stick fort. You know what I mean? You can't balance your checkbook because you got somebody else doing revenue stream drives up, you are going to face some hard realities of what the rest of us have put up with for years. You know what I mean? Like, and more power to you to do that if you can do that. And it's bully on you for doing it as long as you have. But there is the pot at the end of the rainbow is drying up, and Twitch is, and I use that phrase on purpose. The pot at the end of that rainbow is drying up. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see where it's going to land. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see what happens. But YouTube is probably going to get an influx of a lot of
yokes. We are in the magical time in the world where it's where it's like the printing press meets the television, and it's a radical thing where in your pocket you have a broadcasting station, but not just a broadcasting, because it's two ways where you get to interact on the stream with the people, like I was saying before, with the comment section. As a viewer, you can even direct the show to some degree, right?
Sure.
And you can
if you have meaningful comments and you have
correct, you have the opportunity to be involved in for a little money too, you know, and it's a two-way
it's just
street.
free.
It's really,
I didn't pay to get be-rated this week. You know what I mean?
So
it was all free.
With that being said, it's like, you know, I could see this promotion and this idea of, like you were saying, where it's this, let's artificially stimulate this market to make it seem like
as a
thing.
PSYOP, and then pull the rug right out from underneath. But it's also one of the largest money laundering services the world has ever known, and it's a really well
how
kept
do they do
secret
that if it's not in cash?
Because it's subs. You can pay somebody. Say I set you up.
Okay,
I can have a whole team of people, and you can buy. Say I buy a year or 2 years. I subbed you for 2 years, so I get you $200-300, and then I could do that tomorrow. I could give you a donation of $1,000,
well,
and then I could do I could do that. But if I had a warehouse of people, I could, personally, just thinking off the top of the head, I could launder $1 million a month.
Well, easy. It's not laundering
easy.
it.
It's laundering it. It's completely laundering it. Because you and I have an arrangement, okay?
Yeah, well, you're right.
We have an arrangement.
You're presupposing the arrangement.
Of course you are. That's how you do it. You can't launder money if you don't know the laundry.
About it is not that respect. Is more of the way that you can influence somebody to do things and think things.
I'm just talking as a straight up capitalistic. You know, you can, if I had a deal with you, hey, I'll give you 10 points off the top, which means every $1,000 I give you, you get $100, okay? And I put $100,000 in there a week, you get 10 grand a week.
Well, you'd have to pay the taxes on it too.
Yeah, but who cares? If you got drug money and you can't do shit with it,
those people would have to pay the taxes.
It's all part of the deal. Those are structured. I've seen those kind of structured things in other businesses before, because given my experience and closeness to, you know, another story, but you know, I've seen these structured things happen before, and Twitch is the golden goose of money laundering, 100%. Besides the art world, the biggest money laundering position in the world is modern art. I watched a person make $2.5 million off taking a blue tarp, wrapping it with duct tape, stapling it to 4 pieces of sheetrock, putting a traffic cone in front of it, $2.5 million. Okay, so if we had that, like, you're going to buy that, you're going to pay me $2.5 million for this installation, of which I'm going to keep half, give you back the other half after taxes,
for
and
peeing
then
on the floor, I do that for cheap.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. What do you think Twitch is? You're basically peeing on the floor. You're not doing anything meaningful, and you're not talking about anything good. These people are a bunch of uneducated boobs. I've watched some streams.
Well, then
like,
you're going to get in
it makes me so like
multi-million-dollar laundering crime with the retard.
No, they're not, though. That's not how it works, because then those people can come to you and just buy a house or do whatever. It's so easy to do.
I get you, but you would need the laundry on the other side to be
the streamer is the laundry.
But they have to know they're doing it.
Of course, we already established that.
Oh.
If me and you, I made $50 million selling blow.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't do nothing with that money. So I'll go on and I'll pay 50 people to start accounts. Totally different. You can use IP spoofers. Yeah. So these guys can be wherever they are in the world. Yeah, and every day I donate 10 grand to you. I got 50 people donating 10 grand. That's $500,000
I see it more
day.
Likely that it would be for honest to God psyopery.
That too.
An honest to God
place to launder their own money.
Not even just but the psyopery of being that
Yeah, give these people hope and a dream and the American dream.
Yeah,
pull the
or
rug
somebody
out from underneath them.
using somebody and turning them into a useful idiot that they don't even know that they are, because
most
they
idiots
see
are-
that they've gotten paid every time they said X, Y, and Z, so they continue to repeat X, Y,
Well, a
and
lot
Z.
of that's why they're called influencers. That's the entire thing. That's what's going on in the background. Everything you see in that shot, the headphones they're wearing, oh, these are Steel Express or PlayStation this and da 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 da. They're getting a slice for that. And some people, they got ad reels and they're getting slices for the ad reels. Then they got subs. Then they got, you know, the corporate sponsors. Like, the whole thing is one giant racket. Under the definition of the Racketeering Act in RICO, it is a racket. The entire thing is a racket, especially if somebody's pulling it off the back end. You know what I'm saying? Like, if me and you are friends, I'm donating tons of money to you and you're giving it back.
Well, that's the big if.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, come on, bro.
To me, the likely thing, again, is the influence campaign of that.
Sure, that's just one facet of the whole thing. That's why I said it's the golden goose of money laundering.
And then you also have to trust whether or not these numbers that they're generating are real. Like, the views,
they're not.
I mean, how easy is it for them to put their thumb on the scale for the people?
Well, because
obviously
you can buy
squashing our numbers here.
You could pay a view botting company. There's so many parts of it, you know?
Yeah, but it does, see, that's where it goes back to this interaction thing, because it shows up and you can tell when somebody has no interaction.
You can pay bots.
Yeah, but you can see,
now AI
I guess,
is so good.
thumbs ups are fine, whatever.
No. Like, there's bots that can carry on conversations with you that you have no idea you're talking to a bot. Not maybe. That's 100% fact.
I wanted to do a thing where I wanted to do a series where I was bot hunting, but then I thought that the danger in that would
you'd be calling people bots all day.
Right. Where you really think you got somebody you're going to expose, and you're sitting there and you're just being a jerk to somebody.
Let me ask you a question.
It's really a person.
I'm blind. Can you do this cap chat for me?
Yeah, I felt really bad about that.
There's
well, I didn't feel that's why we're not doing it, is because I was like, I could go sideways here, and I don't want it to go sideways. I want it to go ways, because I think it would be hilarious to find a real bot, you know what I mean? And then just engage the thing and just keep it running. Because can only one bot work with one person, or one bot?
No. Bots do. They're online. They're doing, like I said, the last election cycle, the Democratic Party paid a bot wizard, or whatever the name of the place was, to make things. They had 4.5 billion tweets.
But what I'm saying is, if that one bot, like, is it like a bot? Is it like a person? Like,
yeah, no, it's a bot. It's a bot. It's running 10,000 accounts at once, or 500,000, or whatever. Yeah, it can engage in all these things at once.
Each account wouldn't be one bot in and of itself.
No. It's one bot program doing everything. Huh. It's like, it's AI. That's where AI comes from. These bots, but the bots interacting with people have learned, that's how they're becoming so good, because they've had conversations with people for 10 years and people don't know you've been talking about.
Like on Discord.
You engage in these people and you don't realize that these are bots. Yeah, you know, certain places are a lot worse, you know, than others. You know, Twitter is the bot worst. Central. Right. Twitter is the worst. That's how you get all this woke stuff, because they're hiding stuff in, you know, movements that actually need social justice, and they put all this whack shit in there so people just see how let's see how far we can push this. You know what I mean? And then they get the like-minded echo chamber gaining speed, and they just need to give it a little flick because they've botted it up for so long. These people actually believe there's an army of people that feel like that, when there's not. There's a handful of people and some really creative tech people that know how to use the stuff that they've created. You're on their platforms, remember. You understand what I'm saying? There's a reason these ideologies have been proliferated over the last couple of years, because they are the ideology of the people that run the platforms. That's why there's a boom in this crap over the past 10 years.
Definitely has changed several times.
Are you kidding me? When I started watching YouTube, I used to stay up all night watching YouTube, because I was watching lectures. I was watching lectures from Harvard.
Well, even things from before that was just people being like, you know, backyard people doing crap.
There's a lot of that on here. Now, a lot of that's moved to TikTok. This has become more commercialized.
Like, they're trying to replace television and be the new gatekeepers.
It is. They've already done that. When's the last time you turned on a TV?
I stopped once I got to YouTube, but before that.
There you go.
But I was sick of TV anyway. I was sick of watching.
I watch a lot of movies and stuff. Because YouTube is over for me. It's over. Other than that's why I'm creating, because I see that what's going on, and like, why not? You know what I mean? Like,
everybody.
I'm just as interesting as those people, and you and I together, we could write a book on our lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? Flat out. Like if people knew the actual stuff we've been through,
Right.
and where the things I've seen and things I've done in my life, given where I live.
Yeah.
Like I can't even get into it onto this platform because I just can't. You know.
Well,
what I mean?
apparently you can.
No, I can't. You know, we can do that somewhere else or at another time or a meet and greet or whatever. But like, you know, there were very deeply affected, multifaceted people.
And with that,
we'll see you next time. When we ask the question, what are you doing here?
Nice, dog. Like, I see what you did there.